Hello and welcome to tonight's show.
Hello and welcome to episode 205 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers, by scale modelers, all about scale models. And this episode is being brought to you by our latest Patreon supporter, Yorny. You too can help support the show just like Yorny. Simply go to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from as little as $2 per month. Your support helps with our hosting and production costs and are greatly appreciated. And of course, every paid supporter gets an OTB sticker and goes into the fantastic Patreon Wheel of Fortune. Before we get into the show, let's have a quick word from our sponsor.
Are you looking for top quality paints for your next project? Then look no further than the Scale Modeler Supply, Australia's hobby paint. Hi, I'm Scott, and as a passionate modeler myself, I've spent years creating the SMS product range, designing them specifically with the scale modeler in mind. We have worked extensively to develop our acrylic lacquer paint range to not only be airbrush ready straight out of the bottle, but also to be easy to use so that anyone of any skill level can create professional results with minimal effort. Just give the bottle a good shake, pour into your airbrush, and spray at 15 psi. So dive into your next project with confidence, knowing that you're backed by one of the finest hobby paints on the market. Head over to our website at scalemodeler.com.au to check out our full range and to find your closest retailer.
And welcome to Season 9, Episode 205. And in the studio I've got Ian and Julian. G'day, gents.
G'day, Dave. G'day, listeners.
Yeah, this is the second take.
Take two.
Take two.
Yeah, because he went to introduce us and he said Stuart.
Yeah. That's because you got the Black Hat Models cups that Stuart gave to us sitting on the table, and I couldn't keep it in the recording because I swore. So
He said a profanity. He said a cuss word.
oh, it was a cuss word, all right. It was the worst cuss word you could ever think of.
Oh, not really. I can think of worse.
Gentlemen, how have we been?
Good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, settling into the new digs.
Oh well, let's hear all about it.
Well, got my air conditioning all sorted.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to need it Monday.
Yes,
It's going to be a stinker.
hot on Monday, and looks like I might be working on Monday, and I've got to do a bit of work on.
No, I'm definitely not working. But no, I was really happy with the aircon. The guy done a great job. Ended up getting a black split system put in my man cave.
Black.
Yeah, up against the gunmetal grey wall.
Sexy black.
It looks good. It looks really good. So, yeah, gave it a test run. Works that well, I had to turn it off. Starting to get really cold.
So you painted the walls grey.
Well, it's a light bluish grey for three main walls.
Yeah.
And a very dark gunmetal-y grey for
The TV wall,
the
right?
TV wall. And, of course, the colour is known as heavy metal.
Oh, okay.
Have you considered that you painted it grey? So halfway up the wall, you do a red, a black boot line stripe, and then below that you do hull red.
No. 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 No.
Right.
I'm trying to keep it as classy as possible.
That is classy,
That's
man.
not.
Come
you-
on.
That'd be
first,
something
Dave.
that would be something I would consider when I finally get my modelling room done.
you first, Dave. You've got two rooms here in this house that are all yours, and you haven't done that to any of these
Yeah.
walls.
Well, this one's covered. This is a studio, so it's covered with all the soundproofing. So
I reckon Dave should,
Oh, here we go.
with his room, is a greyish colour for his main walls, the boot line, the lime green,
Lime green.
and then wait for it, and then red and white diagonal stripes
No,
on the floor.
no.
What?
Take it up like an
Italian.
Italian ship.
Italian.
Oh,
bullshit.
okay. I'm on the same page now, like the Italian ship thing.
But yeah, no, that's the old man cave's come along well. I
Good.
removed. I turned a wardrobe into like a little desk nook by removing the doors, filling in the.
You can get your legs inside.
Yeah, just.
Well, I mean, as long as you can. So
I
that
can get my
you're not
legs in.
having to sit sideways or
No.
something.
No. I can get my legs inside. So yeah, it's enough room for a 12 by 6 desk, which is sitting in there.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, there's heaps of space to model on, dude.
Well, I've got a PC on there as well,
Okay.
which takes up half the space.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I've got about 6 by 6 area to model in.
but I mean, you can clear up. You can make some space.
Yeah. I can just move the.
If
move.
you get a mounting for the monitor so that it doesn't take up any footprint space on the.
Oh, you
on
mean mounted against the back wall?
Yeah, or
Yeah,
the, yeah, on,
That's
on
a
the wall.
good idea.
Well, hang on, you say 6 by 6 space to model in?
Yeah.
6 inches by 6 inches? 6 foot by 6 foot? 60 centimetres by 60 centimetres? What's 6 by 6?
Well, it's a 1200 by 600 desk. So what's that? 1200 centimetres by
That's heaps of room, man. You could build ships on
120.
that.
Yeah, 120 centimetres.
You could do a 1/350 scale aircraft carrier in that space. That's huge.
Problem is, I've got to find a spot where I can paint too, because there's nowhere in there I can
No, you
paint.
have to go outside for that.
Yeah, I have to go clean out oh my God, clean out the garage. Every time I open the door and look at it, I just close the door again and walk away.
Oh, come on.
It is really, really bad.
I
Well,
can
the first
smell
thing you
a
should-
garage sale coming on.
Yeah,
First thing you need to do is you need to mend that hole in the roof.
yeah. Well, that's
Stop the rain coming in. Yeah, first.
Yes. Well, at least nothing where the rain hits. None of my stuff is. So I'm not too, it just hits basically nothing. And actually, I've never seen water on there.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty much holding it.
Yeah, it's because every time you put your head in there, you close the door.
Yes. But on another note, I did a purchase,
Ooh.
a B&A purchase last night.
Was it a big one or a small one?
I did 2 purchases, ended up being quite very large.
Yeah.
So I purchased for myself the new Edward P51B and the Edward 48 scale P51B/C. So 2 of those, well, one of each of those.
While you're talking about Edward, I see they've got a YouTube channel out now.
Oh, do they? I have to check it out.
Yeah, trouble, it's not in English.
Oh,
That's
and
fine.
I did a pre-order
Yeah.
for a Edward Royal Class.
Oh,
Two Royal Class P40s.
jeez.
You're going back to the P40s again?
Of course, I love me P40s.
Like, I mean,
Can't get a cooler aircraft than a P40,
like
dude.
buying a Royal Class is a deal.
But buying
but-
2.
Buying 2 is too much.
I don't know.
dude.
Jensen done it. He bought 2.
Yeah, but he's got a huge problem.
Oh, he's got a huge problem.
No, because like you turn up to a show and you fill the suitcase. He fills the suitcase and keeps going.
Yeah, I know. That's right. Because I remember I gave him a suitcase at the Nats. You might need this, buddy. Take
And
this.
then when he's got as many suitcases as he can, he then has to mail the rest home.
Yeah, and that cost the poor guy an absolute fortune too, didn't it?
It wasn't the mail that cost him so much. It was the
Import
customs.
duties. Yeah,
the
import duties. Yeah, it stung him real bad on that. Yeah. I think it was £1,000 or something.
I don't know.
Pretty high.
It wasn't cheap.
No. But yeah, so that's been me. So yeah, this tomorrow I've got to try and hunt down. I've got to actually bite the bullet tomorrow and go through the garage and try and find the box I'd put aside for my Yamato build tools.
Okay.
So take that out. So I want to on Monday, because we've got a public holiday here, I'm planning on hooking back into the Yamato.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, get a bit of modelling, get me foot back in the modelling again.
Right. Yes.
So yeah, that's my update. What about you, Julian?
Me? Well, I've been working on the Moosaroo.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad you have, because we had a little email about that, so that's good to hear.
Did we?
Yep.
What was it? Like a...
I'll read it out in a minute.
Okay.
During the mail.
Yeah. So
That's fine.
I have been working on it. So my plan is a bit rough. Well, not a bit rough. I mean, it's sort of...
Sounds like your build ethic as well.
Well, it's got to be the rough part, because like all of my builds are so clean, right?
Ah, okay.
Anyway, well, because they're cars, right? So in any case, you know what? Someone said to me the other day, "Oh, why do you do like a car that's all rusted?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not going to do that.
or a rally car, all dirty.
No, I'm not going to do that either.
There you go.
I don't. It's not my style. I found that this is the style that best suits me and what I like to get out of it.
If it's your style that works for you, keep doing it.
Yeah. In any case, so the part of the design brief for this Musaru is it has to be on like a base, right?
Yep.
And I've decided I'm going to go with what I did is I bought a trailer because like all of the mini subs came on trailers, right?
Around on trailers, yes.
And they often have like a big pole kind of cage kind of thing that goes over it so that they could put a tarp over it or some crap. There's plenty of photos. The thing is, there's 2 mini subs in this kit.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Right? There's the mulch and there's the Seahund, with the Seahund being the lesser kit.
Yep.
But it's a nicely shaped mini sub, whereas the other one's just mostly a tube.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, fairly uninteresting. Now the mulch, good luck finding the trailer for that, and good luck making one if you're able to just buy up kits and try and kit bash one out, because it's got like 6 sets of wheels on it. It's really long.
Oh, right. Yep.
And it has like a pole down the center, so it's kind of like a tree.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's got a big pole center line, and then like just sort of like outrigger poles to sort of prop the thing up and blah blah
stop
blah.
it from tipping.
The
over.
other one is much smaller and much more
compact. Yeah.
well, sort of smaller. In any case, the trailer is much more straightforward.
So you can actually buy the trailer you need.
No.
Right.
What I have is a trailer for a different mini sub, because that's all I could get. There is no one who makes the correct trailer.
So you're going to kit bash that one?
Nope.
Just going to use it?
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of like small details, and like when you see the trailer in person, and it's like only this big,
Yeah.
like it's not even 10 centimeters long. It's tiny.
Yeah.
Like I really underestimated how tiny this thing is. Like you see the wheels on it, and it's like the wheels are for scale, right? Like you can sort of look at a mini sub and go, oh, it's a sub, and it's kind of small. But then you put a trailer next to it with the wheels, and they're only like the size of your pinky in across. You're like, oh, okay. So these mini subs are a lot bigger than I thought, and the trailer is.
Well, we saw how big they were when we went over to Hawaii.
Yeah. But when
they had a Kate in there.
But I mean, like, there's also like military size wheels, so to speak, right? So sometimes, sometimes those wheels are a lot bigger than you think they are.
The big balloon tires and stuff.
Yeah. So anyway, I got this trailer. I put it there, and I put that on, and clearly it's too big for the trailer because it's meant for a different type of mini sub. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to roll with it. I'm going to have this thing in like a factory. So I'm going to have like a little factory wall.
Yep.
And factory floor, and this thing will be like sort of shoved away in the corner, propped up. It's like it's on the wrong trailer, shoved in the corner because that's the only trailer they could find to put it on, just so it wasn't sitting on the floor, and maybe put some like building materials and things around it.
Oh, here's an idea. With the back wall, build a little part of a roof with a big gaping hole in it, and just have debris like the factory had been bombed.
Oh, yeah, but see, like, then I have to put a roof on it.
Oh, a little structure like that wouldn't take you too long.
Well, I did contemplate putting like a little gantry crane above it, kind of thing, and I thought, nah, it's a bit too forced.
Yeah.
I'm big. It has to look a bit.
Yeah, you want the main topic or the main focus to be the same.
Yeah. So what I bought is I found some 72nd scale diorama sort of bits from MIG. And it's kind of like a 15 by 15, I believe it is, like a little diorama set kind of looking thing that looks a bit like the inside of a factory.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take those 2 walls, and because it's not big enough, because like the sub itself is longer than 15. It's about 15.
Yeah.
And there's not enough room for the trailer and this and that, and so I'm just going to like take those and make one long wall out of it, and that'll be my diorama kind of thing. And then yeah. And I saw I'm just going to have it like half sitting on the trailer.
So the thing is, with joining the 2 walls together, probably just get a bit of plastic struck I-beam or T-beam and put that between it, so it looks like sometimes you get like the metal dividers.
Oh yeah, but those are actually sort of incorporated into these walls because they're like resin. So I just need to cut it at the appropriate area and just join it. It'll be fine. It'll look. It's already got them molded in, so
Yeah, but we're talking about hiding the 2 joins.
Yeah. So
rather than have to putty it up and.
Yeah, so this diorama piece already has a number of those.
Oh, so it's got them on the end.
Yeah. So I just need to cut out the appropriate part so that it looks all like it's designed to be that way.
Cool. I get what you mean.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that'll sort of do it, and I'll have like maybe one of the torpedoes sort of off to the side or something along those lines. You know, it'll be all right, and I'll throw some like.
Actually, I probably wouldn't even put the torpedoes on it if you got it in the factory.
Nah,
because in the factory they would have put the torps on in the factory.
No, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have put the torpedoes on until they were ready to launch.
Yeah. You could have the torpedoes to the side.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so the thing is, like, with the torpedoes on it, it sits on the resting things for the torpedoes on the trailer perfectly.
Here's an idea.
Okay.
Bare metal.
Were they bare metal? And what metal? It'd be steel, right?
Yeah, it'd be steel, but bare metal.
Okay.
You said it's in a factory.
Yeah.
Bare metal. It's just been finished construction. And they've got a torpedo sitting there to test fit.
Oh, dummy torpedoes.
Yep.
Like wooden ones.
Yep.
No, that's a good idea.
That way you can put like little squiggles and shit all over it.
Oh, you mean like, red primer with like the chalk cutting marks and stuff like that?
Yeah. But I probably wouldn't even worry about the red primer. You'd have it pre-painted. It'll look cool, in my opinion.
I'll think about it. There's a few different ways you can sort of go about these sort of things.
Well, the clock is ticking, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming together pretty. I've already got like the diorama elements came in yesterday.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, it'll wrap up pretty quickly.
I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Well, who knows? The Cup might come back to OTB this year.
Really?
Well, if Julian pulls it off.
Yeah.
Okay. I think those days are over because.
No. I mean, look at the competition. Nothing.
He says nothing. You shit stirrer.
I rate our competition very highly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. I think I mean, to some degree, we're in a competition with a bunch of podcasters, and while podcasters,
these guys are good modelers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like to some degree, like there's top tier modelers, and for someone to be a top tier modeler and a podcaster isn't necessarily something that always correlates. But there is an awful lot of really good modelers out there. Yeah.
True, very true.
And it's good. It's good. It's good to be. They say that you're supposed to make friends with people who elevate you. All that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it does put some pressure on you to sort of push yourself a bit further.
Yes.
And the pride of the podcast is riding on your shoulders. No pressure, just saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if you do a good job, like, you might get a message from Chris Meddings saying, "Oh, that was a bit all right,"
So whose turn is it next year?
Me.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I saved you this year.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have minded doing the sub actually, but you had to.
Yeah,
well, that's good
yourself.
as long as it's not me.
But it's not like it's a 1 through 50 sub.
No, but you still had to redeem yourself, and the sub I would have been quite happy to do that. I would have done a water scene with just a periscope.
Jeez.
Nutter.
Well, you could have done like a Captain America one, because remember, Captain America, there was the mini sub the guy tries to get away with.
No, I'm not a big fan of Marvel sort of stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, in the Captain America movie, right near the start of the movie, like some guy tries to make off with the super soldier serum,
right?
And he escapes like by running off to the docks, and then he gets in a mini sub and tries to get away, but Captain America dives in after him and rips the canopy off it, and he's like, he gives the line, Hell Hydra and all that sort of crap, and he like swallows he swallows his tooth that's got like cyanide in it, foaming at the mouth. It's very, very sort of pulp cinema type stuff. So it was a well received movie.
Hail Hydra.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the saying is like, cut off one head and
another grows back.
Another, yeah.
So, about you, Dave? What have you been working on?
I've been working on that really bad kinetic Harrier kit.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of people have been complaining about that thing. It's a bit of a challenge.
He does this to himself all the time.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No. Well, this is part of a group build, so and I spoke about it in the last episode, what the outcomes are if you don't finish it. And it's going to be done in time for Scale ACT. Hashtag 1,000 models
Yes.
this year. So I've got until November to finish it. But I thought I'd just get out of the gates and sort of, I can't build an aircraft for donkey's years. And I can see why now. It's just annoying me. Anyway, the cockpit's done. The wings are on now. The fuselage is all sealed up, of course. And I've just got all these stupid gaps and stuff to sort of try and fix up, but it's not going to be an award-winning one or one you'd want to actually enter into a competition. It'll just be one just to save my eyebrows, so I get one shaved off for not finishing.
Oh, okay.
I've also been putting along, I should say, on my 1/72nd scale Falcon rocket. Just pulling out now and again and just sort of, cleaning up different parts of the hull. And I'm also building a NASAMS rocket launcher. So NASAMS is a new system. Well, I'll say new. It's new for Australia. We've only just recently purchased. It's a surface-to-air system.
All right.
And it can launch Sparrows. Is it Sparrows? And also Sidewinders as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives you a medium to short range air defence system.
All right.
So I'm going to build it and put it on not a diorama, but a base, and it's going to represent the Kultana sort of training area in South Australia, with a nice red earth and stuff like that. So that should be pretty cool.
Sounds good.
Nice.
I build that at Model Club. That's the one kit I take along to build at Model Club.
Yeah, I've seen you ticking away at that one.
Yep. And
I tried cleaning up some parts there.
Oh, geez, we were so busy last night talking. We had Model Club last night, and there's a lot of yakking going on last night. It's funny, some meetings you can just sit there and just build. Nobody talks.
I realise I can't build there because I can't see what I'm doing.
Oh, what? You can't see?
Yeah, because when you're cleaning up nubs and stuff like that, one of my things that I do is I hold it in the light and I let the light fall across it so I can see where the nub used to be and properly remove it.
Yeah.
And I can't see it because the lighting's not good enough. I'm not even gonna try strain my eyes.
But it's so funny. Some meetings you can really get into, and a lot of people sit down, heads down, and build stuff. And other meetings are all wah 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 wah. And that was last night. There was a lot of wah 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 wah.
Yeah,
a lot of yakking last night.
Yep.
And frivolity
and we had the raffle, and I didn't win anything again.
I did. I won, and guess what I picked?
What'd you pick?
A Revell 1/72nd scale Halifax.
Halifax.
4-engined.
Yeah, I know British. Handley Page
British.
Halifax.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's it like?
It's the one with the Merlin engines, and the parts are surprisingly quite good from what I could see through the.
Well, I remember building their 72nd scale Condor.
Yeah.
And that was a marvellous kit to build.
And I'm going to do this in the Coastal Command scheme, I think.
Ooh, white with the camo on top.
Yeah.
That should look striking.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And the nose, it's I think that version you lose the turret at the nose, and it's got the conversion, so it's just the all glass nose.
Yep.
And then you have the upper turret instead.
Yes.
So that comes in. So
cool.
So yeah, that's there. That'll sit in the stash until I've got sort of room to do it. Mm-hmm. And I thought also this year I've got a couple of shelf queens that I need to get down and finish off. So I've got an Eagle, a Space 1999 Eagle. I'm sort of half built.
Another one.
Well, I've got that one and another one in the stash as well. So,
well, I can't talk. I have multiples.
Yeah, it's been a while since you built a P40, isn't it?
It's been a long while since I built a P40.
Okay.
But I got so many kits in my shelf half started that I really should look at those, finishing those off. I know the Dave is going to God because that didn't survive the move.
Which one? What?
Me Nakajima Dave float plane.
Which
is a
I think
real
you're
shame.
thinking about Dave.
I think you're talking about me. Go to God. What?
That's a real shame because that was coming up an absolute treat, that thing. But books fell on it,
Oh, okay.
and every single strut, because the biplane, every single strut was broken in multiple pieces.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
And it's like, I'm not even going to
No.
attempt to fix that.
No.
Which is a real shame. So I put so much
Pick your
effort, put an
battles.
headway, a cockpit set through it and everything, drilled out holes, put in little 148 scale eyelets for the rigging, and just went completely nuts on it. And now it's like,
Yeah,
it's ruined.
that's why I don't have any books.
Yeah.
But all my books are in the bookcase, so it's all right.
Yeah,
All my books,
safely
all my
out of
books
reach
is
of your
like-
models.
all my books are in boxes at the moment,
Mm.
and I'm going to do another huge order from of more books.
Good.
There's about another 3 or 4 new Pacific profiles that are
You
coming
can
out.
never have enough books.
So I love my Pacific profile series.
Yeah, it's a great series.
Yeah,
It's
so
really
I got
good.
one on B-17s, Marauders now.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, there's a
Very
few
cool.
good books coming out.
And just in other news too, for fans of real space stuff, there were 2 terrific launches in the last couple of weeks. So
Yep.
we had the new Glenn on its first launch, which is great to watch, and
It's good they're naming a ship, one of those things after an astronaut.
yeah. And well, it's a good way of paying
Homage.
to those
Homage.
pioneers. And Starship launched as well, and did a fantastic return and got caught again by the chopsticks, which is really cool. The booster did anyway. Unfortunately, Starship had a rud.
Oh, that's the one that was all like turned to confetti.
Yes, yeah, this was the wolf. So, but they'll figure that out and get the next one going.
Pretty
so.
expensive confetti bomb, isn't it?
I'm tipping that SpaceX can probably not even blink losing 2 or 3 of them because they're making that much money at the moment.
Yep.
They're launching at least, they'll be launching at least 100 plus rockets this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you ever, if and because the mainstay of the launches that they're doing is the Falcon 9, and that's a huge rocket. That's really
I know what
big.
you're
People
saying,
just
yeah.
don't understand how big these things are. And that's always been launched in Florida or over in from Vandenberg on the west coast. So if you ever want to sort of see a real rocket launch, just you got plenty of opportunities now. It's not like the old Apollo days where you had to sort of wait, for once every 2 years or when they were launching the shuttles and that. But anyway, so maybe it'll be a bucket list I can kick off. Let's dive into listener mail, which has been particularly thin pickings. And I'm not quite sure what's wrong, whether people have sort of forgotten how to write or they've forgotten their email address, but it's not very often we're hearing from anybody at the moment. But anyway, the first cab off the rank comes from Duncan Young. And this is a Moosaroo Cup and Heritage Con announcement. So, what's happening there? I'm going to get rid of that. So, the Moosaroo Cup, as of today, we are down to 50 days until submissions for the 6th instalment of the Moosaroo Cup are due. And they've reattached some instructions. And photo entries are due by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on March the 15th. Julian,
Yeah, I got time.
which is our March the 16th.
Yeah.
The winner, of course, will be announced at Heritage Con 17 on March the 23rd. So let's talk about Heritage Con 17, some announcements. So the team's getting really busy getting everything organised for Heritage Con in March, and a few key items to bring to the attention of our wonderful listeners. First of all, model entry registration. Online model registration has recently opened, so go to www.ipmshamilton.ca/HeritageCon and follow the links to the registration site. On the club page, you can also find information on the contest categories and rules. They're strongly encouraging participants to register models in advance to avoid the long lines and delays on the day of the show. And I think the last place you're going to be standing outside is in Hamilton in March, in case you get some bad weather going through. So please pre-register your models. Pre-purchase museum entry tickets and contest fees. So the Canadian Warplane Museum has also launched a sale of entry tickets to Heritage Con, and it's going at $20 Canadian for adults and $15 Canadian for the youngsters. Those participating in the contest can also prepay the contest entry fee at the same time when buying the entry tickets. And this year, they have shifted to a flat fee of $10 for unlimited contest entries. It used to be $3 per entry with no cap, but now it is a flat fee of $10 for as many models as you want.
That promotes people to put more kits in.
Yep. People under the age of 17 are free to participate in the contest.
Oh, that's all right.
So to encourage attendees to pre-purchase the tickets, the museum has generously donated a seat on a future flight of a World War II D-Day era C-47 Dakota.
Nice.
So this is actually one that flew on D-Day. Entry tickets
Actually, D-Day era veteran.
Yes.
So I don't know if it actually flew.
Well, okay. So it was used during the war. Entry tickets need to be purchased by noon on Friday, the 21st of March, 2025. The contest is open to those 12 years old and above due to Canadian transportation regulations. And the winner will be announced at HeritageCon itself. So tickets and contest entry fee can be purchased directly from the museum website. So just Google the Canadian Warplane Museum and it'll take you there. And as a reminder, so all funds raised at HeritageCon go directly back to the Warplane Heritage Museum to support their initiatives. Excuse me. Vendor tables are all sold out, so it's going to be more than 120 vendor tables were reserved in less than 6 hours when they launched.
That's good.
And as such, a waiting list has been established, but this is managed directly by the museum. Sponsorship opportunities and raffles. So for parties interested in supporting HeritageCon, either by sponsoring a contest category or by contributing to the raffle, please reach out and we can get them in touch with the person coordinating that aspect of the show. And we greatly appreciate continued support in promoting Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum. As in the past, we'd welcome the opportunity to speak with you and your listeners on a future episode of the podcast. We can definitely get Duncan
definitely
on to have a chat about it, I think.
Sounds like a plan, mate.
It does indeed. So if you live in that part of the world, get on up there and check it out. Our good friend Chris Becker writes in, "Hi David and Julian, the new year brings a new beginning. As part of my passion and drive to increase the interest of creating models in flight, I've started a new Facebook group called Scale Model Aircraft in Flight. All of our listeners are most welcome to join in the fun where we share daily content of wheels up displays from modelers around the world. Talk about the problems and provide solutions for converting aircraft kits into their proper in-flight condition and discuss ideas for dioramas and display. On a very related note, I've started prototyping a new 3D printed in-flight aircraft stands and hope to have something to share very shortly. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so just go to Facebook and search for Scale Model Aircraft in Flight if you
are interested.
Yeah, and even if you're not interested, just go and check it out.
Check it out, yeah.
Many thanks, gentlemen, and Julian.
Nice little dig.
He's certainly very passionate. And
Yes.
And rightly so.
Mm.
Yeah, well, he's found his niche. I'm all
That's
for
right.
people.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a time when he had like armor molds in his stash, and then one day he decided, no, I'm all about the aircraft. So he got rid of them all.
All right, so the last email is from Dave Osborne, who was one of our previous Patreon Wheel of Fortune winners. G'day, David and Julian. I wanted to say how thankful I was to be selected as a Patreon Wheel of Fortune winner and receive the prize of a personal chat with Evan McCallum, Panzermeister.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's
64?
the number? Yes. No, 56.
I forget.
74.
73, 28.
Panzermeister.
Hey.
But you see, he got Callum got another mention on
Australian Army Museum, Artillery Army Museum.
with their Stug build.
Yeah. Many thanks to Evan. I'll be starting again. Many thanks to Evan, as it was a wonderful chat. Much of what I asked him was about specifics in his approach to paint and weathering finishes, and he was very generous with his thoughts. I have a cyber hobby Stug 3E almost ready for paint, which is a coincidence as Evan is very knowledgeable about those vehicles. So I will certainly put his advice to use. I hope each of you had a very nice holiday season. Things have been typically busy for me and my family this time of year, but I'm looking forward to some bench time and to play around with Evan's ideas. Many thanks again from Dave Osborne.
You're welcome, Dave.
There you go. And of course, everybody who is one of our Patreon supporters goes into the Patreon Wheel of Fortune.
Yes.
So, in fact, that's it for mailbag. And of course, if you want to write into us, you can. It's onthebench64@gmail.com. Send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. And also in the show notes, there's a link to SpeakPipe where you can actually leave a voice message, which we'll happily play on the show. To date, nobody's used it. And if it doesn't get used by, I want to say about another month or so, I might cancel it because it's costing me about $15 to keep it running. And if nobody's going to use it, might as well get rid of it.
Yep.
Better $15 in our pocket than being sick.
You can buy some paint for that.
I could. How about we do the Wheel of Fortune?
Why not?
Which is going to be one of our wonderful OTB challenge coins.
Ooh.
So let's see who.
Rare as hen's teeth.
Very exclusive. And so the wheel's spinning, and as it goes around, hopefully your name will come out. And good luck to everybody in the draw. And it goes to Aussie Scale Models.
Hey, congrats.
That's Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gee, I think he's already got a coin.
Yeah, touch base with him.
I gave him a coin when I saw him up at... Wow. All right. You know what? I'm going to do another spin and give another coin away because I'm just that kind of guy. So Craig can still have his. And let's spin it again. How's that?
All right.
2 coins going out. 2 spins. Unheard of. And the winner is Alexander Scubus.
Well done.
There we go.
Nice. And yeah, they're basically those challenge coins are like a limited run because they were pretty expensive to get made.
Yeah, they were.
And yeah, we're not willing to make any more of them. It's pretty much the...
Not in the foreseeable future anyway.
Yeah, well, it just makes more sense for... There are cheaper sort of options. They're not as nice, but I mean...
Yep.
I mean, that's kind of what makes them special to begin
It
with.
does, absolutely. Very exclusive.
It all works out. You know?
And of course, you can get into the Patreon Wheel of Fortune. We have some fantastic giveaways from show to show. And we've got some exciting stuff coming up in the next few episodes. But to get your name on that Wheel of Fortune, you need to be a Patreon supporter.
Yep.
For as little as $2 per month. You can have your name in the Wheel of Fortune. Just go to www.patreon.com/onthebench.
How many people are up there anyway?
Oh, I want to say I've got about 148, 150.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Rightio. Let's have a
Quick break.
a quick break, and then we'll come back and we're going to have a look at what's on offer for 2025.
Yeah.
Back very shortly. Okay, we're back, and we're going to be having a look at just a couple of manufacturers and talking about some of the new releases that have been announced by these manufacturers, and we're just sort of looking just at the highbrow sort of stuff, I guess, for want of a better word. Mm-hmm. So the first one I'm going to have a quick gander at is the Airfix 2025 launch of a number of new and exciting models. The first one that sort of really grabbed my eye was the 148 scale Jaguar GR1.
Yeah, that's been a lot of people have been going on about that one.
You know, I've always liked those
Yeah.
just because they've got the little tiny window in the nose.
And they
Not
got,
a window, but you know what I mean.
And they got the the anti-aircraft missiles on top of the wings.
Yeah.
The sidewinders on the wings,
Yeah.
on top of the
The
wings,
wings,
which
yes.
is really, really cool. And I think the Royal Air Force, or certainly
Didn't they
the
use
Brits-
those in the Gulf War?
Yes, they did. But let me think back now. I'm pretty sure the Lightning used to have.
Yeah, they had was it the drop tanks on top of the wings?
Is
Something was on top of the
Yeah,
wings
it's
of
like
the
a drop
light.
tank or,
Yeah.
or something on the wing, which is,
Yeah, on top.
really sort of unusual. And I can't think of any other modern aircraft that has done that, where they've used the top of the wings to sort of load stores on top.
Yeah.
And the Brits sort of seem to do it. I remember I was listening to a podcast of a guy who was flying the Jaguar, and he'd launched a couple of these during training, and he goes, "It's quite spectacular to watch the missile sort of come across your shoulder."
Yeah, it would
over the
be.
top.
Yeah.
It's just very impressive to watch it. So this has got some a lot of interest within the modelling community and the aircraft builders. So I think this should be a good one to get, and it would almost match the Harrier I'm building, I guess, in a certain degree.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
was there a Jaguar before? I think maybe made
I
by
know-
Kitty Hawk or something like that.
I know Eshy, I think Eshy did a Jag in 48 scale.
Okay, no one counts the issue. As far as
I know because I had one. I remember the decals kept falling off.
that's gone too far back. That's like finding dinosaur footprints or something like
I think I
like
did
we know what happened, but no one was there to witness it.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
In exciting news, so there's been a new tool, or a brand new sort of build of the SLS Artemis rocket, which is in 1/144th scale.
Oh, not your scale, Dave.
It's not my scale, but you know what? I'm going to pull the trigger on this one simply because you can't get one in 72nd scale that I'm aware of at this point in time.
3D print.
Yeah, quite possibly. Talking with all and just watching the Real Space crowd, they're pretty excited about this. So
Does it come with the gantry?
no, it doesn't, unfortunately, which is a huge letdown because a gantry would look so good if they had it with that. But unfortunately,
especially that box art. That box art really sort of inspires you to have it in photo etch, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Actually, you would need to do it in photo. You couldn't do it in plastic.
You do a 3D print.
You could do it 3D printed, yeah.
Yeah.
But like if you had it with all the lights inside it like that, oh man, that'd be spectacular.
Yeah, it'd look pretty cool.
And lights like up from below on the actual rocket like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be really cool.
So I, for one, am really excited about it and can't wait to sort of get my hands on one and build it. They're also doing a reissue of the Space Shuttle along with the solid boosters and the fuel tank. So that'd be cool. That's in 1/44 scale. And just to round out the real space stuff, they've also reissuing the Saturn V in 1/44 scale as well. So it makes a nice trifecta for
big
the real
kit
space.
too.
Not as big
Well-
as my 72nd scale.
No.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, would you ever consider going over to a 1/44th for this sort of stuff?
You know what? I am, because there's some Russian stuff I just can't get in 72nd scale that I can only get in 1/44th. So I might have to lower my expectations and sort of move into the 1/44 scale area.
I think it might be a good idea because, I mean, it would definitely bring in more scope because there are some that are just too big, right, to be
No.
in 72nd scale.
No.
Oh,
No.
okay, if you say so.
No. No.
I mean, well, how big would a space station be in 1/44?
That would be huge.
Oh, the ISS, you mean?
And you
Yeah,
can get
yeah.
it in 1/44 scale.
Oh, there you go. We're moving to 1/44.
Yeah.
That's cool.
More kits, more space.
Jeez.
The space station is a must-have, I reckon, especially since they're going to get rid of the thing
Well, that'd be something you'd hang from your roof or your ceiling in your house.
in 1/44.
Oh, yeah. That'd look awesome as you walked into the build room and see that hanging.
Yeah, collecting.
Yeah, collecting dust. Yeah.
Well, no, because here's the thing. So my new anti-dust, or my dust remover, my filter thing, it's working great guns. I love it.
Okay.
It's working really
okay.
well. It's keeping my dust levels significantly lower than what they were before. So
Oh, that's cool.
I'm very pleased with how that's working. They also announced I'm pretty sure this is also a new tool as well. The Westland Wessex helicopter, the HC2 in 72nd scale. So if you're a helicopter guy, 72nd scale is too small for helicopters, I reckon.
Oh, no, not that thing. That's a pretty decent
Well,
size
No,
helicopter.
they weren't that big.
It's too small for the fuselage and not big enough. And it's just right for the footprint.
Yes.
That's always the trouble with choppers,
With helicopters,
isn't it?
yeah.
Unless you fold the blades back.
This one, and
Yeah, this is interesting. Yes.
I'm pretty sure that our friend Tim Holland over at the Geeks is going to grab one of these, even though it's outside of his scale. But the 148 scale Supermarine Spitfire, the TR9, which is a trainer version,
Yeah,
it's
the
a two-seat
twin-seat.
version. Because Tim actually went over to the UK and flew in one of these.
Oh,
I
right.
think it maybe, don't know if it was an original or one that had been converted, but he's an absolute nut on Spitfires and has got every
Look,
Spitfire.
honestly,
ever
I
known to
would
man.
consider getting one myself.
One of those kits.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah. And it's painted up like on the box art with the Irish markings.
The Irish markings.
The Irish
Irish
markings.
markings.
Because I reckon that looks cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool in the Irish markings.
It's just something slightly different, isn't it?
I would never
Make
build,
a beautiful plain ugly.
I would never build a trainer.
Wouldn't you?
Nah, not a trainer.
Of any description.
No.
Well, speaking of trainers, Edward's working on the moulds for their Mitsubishi twin seat Zero.
Ah, are they? I didn't know the Zero was a twin seat.
Yeah,
They did twin
seat
seat.
Zeros. Yeah,
Really?
extra long canopy.
What did you think that they just had the trainee pilot sit on the lap of the pilot?
Well, no, it's like, like there was no training version of like a Mustang or originally of a Spitfire. They just sort of gave you a quick sort of 5-minute chat and sort of threw you in the cockpit and said, off you go.
There was a twin seat P40.
Not originally, though. Not when they first came out. It was just chuck you in and off you go.
Yeah, but they had twin seat P40s.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And they had that horrible thing where they sort of did the two P51s and married them up.
That's
two
not
wings.
horrible. That's a freaking awesome
Really?
aircraft. That is. What are you talking about?
Nah, what's
The
it
twin
called?
F50, F something, F52
something like
or
that, yeah.
F51, or I'm not too sure, but it's a freaking cool. Used in the Korean War. Had that big gun pod in the middle of them. Love them. They're awesome.
Oh, gosh. But no, that looks like
Definitely.
yeah.
That's on my radar. Like I said, just looking at the box art sold it for me. I just look at that scheme and go, yep.
Again, in 48 scale and still staying with the Spitfire. This is a Spitfire Mark 9E.
Pretty sure I got one of them in Edward.
Yeah.
in 48 scale.
Yep.
Airfix have really lifted the game in recent times, I've got to say. So, it's...
I remember watching I do remember seeing a post from Chris Meddings talking about the new Lyslander.
Yes.
And he's saying how first he thought a bit and ah, and now he's just completely sold on it.
I remember
It's a marvellous
building
kit.
the Matchbox 76 scale.
72nd, yeah.
Yeah, I loved that. I reckon it was a great.
I've got an Edward one in the stash somewhere.
Do you really?
Yeah. I bought some aftermarket South Pacific scheme for it,
Now-
which looked really cool.
The Lysander was, I want to say, and I don't know, you guys can probably correct me, didn't they build one with a turret on it and they made the twin boom tail?
Yeah, now you got me thinking. I think they may have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Anyway, Ian will
While Dave's talking, I'm jumping on the phone having a quick eyeball.
The other announcement from Airfix is an Alvis FV622 Stalwart Mark II.
Looks pretty cool, actually.
It's
Which
a
is-
6x6.
It's a 6x6, which is amphibious. It she floats and goes to the water, so it's an old.
So what Thunderbird model number is that one? It looks like something out of the Thunderbirds. It looks so cool.
It does actually. It was. There's a nickname for it, but I can't think of the name of it.
The windows on it look very nautical.
Well, it has to if it goes in water.
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like they're a bit too big for an armoured vehicle.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that she was actually armoured as such. It was just a utility truck or a 6x6, obviously, like you said, that had the capacity to sort of go in water. And I think from memory that there's a small fan base that certain kits get those sort of or certain models of trucks get those sort of fan bases. This is one of those ones that is well thought of. And Ian, you've just found that
I
particular
can
one.
confirm, yes, a Westland Lysander P12.
Now, what was it used for?
I've no idea, but geez, it's one of the ugliest aircraft I've ever seen in my entire life.
No, I think it's a thing of beauty.
It's that ugly that I would build one. It looks like it's got something similar to like a Avro Lancaster rear turret slapped on the bum end.
Yes.
But yeah, it's out there. It is definitely out there.
In the 72nd scale, it's going to be Messerschmitt ME410A-1.
Yeah, I heard that's the other. Well, basically just a
Reeboks,
but
okay.
with different armament.
Of course, a fan favourite of the swing wing crowd is the Boeing Chinook, which is the HC1 late version. Unfortunately, once again in 72nd scale, but interesting sort of camouflage pattern in this one.
Yeah.
It's sort of like I want to call it a webbing. So you got a light undertone of green, or even like a sandy desert with a webbing of
Green
over the top of
dark
that.
green, yeah.
But again, this is the thing with, and I agree with you, Julian, in regards to helicopters. I'd love to have a couple of helicopter models, but it's the fact that
They take up so much
rotor
space.
size takes up so much space in comparison to the actual rest of it.
Yeah, it's something that's
Yeah.
hard to reconcile as a modeler. I think.
Unless you're doing a naval variant of a particular helicopter where you can fold the rotors, and then you're sort of off and running to the races.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just a thought. This one grabbed my interest. A ferret scout car.
Oh, cool.
Now,
In 35th scale.
yes. Now, these were used right up until, I want to say, these were even used up into the 80s, even 90s perhaps not the 90s by the British Army. I'm sure the listeners out there will know a lot more about it. But they're used in Australia as well. So it's a kit that I wouldn't mind getting, actually.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, doesn't
Build
it?
up to a really nice model. And the ferret in 35th scale is small anyway, so,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
I remember around here, nearly every single, what was it? Aussie Disposals
He used to have one,
used to
yes,
have one out
that's
the front.
right,
Yeah. Where your kid used to love clambering over it.
If you're going to buy a military vehicle and call it affordable, you couldn't go wrong with getting like a ferret. It's either a ferret or a Jeep you're going to buy, isn't it?
Or a Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
But
good
that's
luck,
starting to push the price because they're not cheap.
No.
But you could get away with, I wonder how you go with driving on the road and registering it.
Oh, one of those, a Scout car, you probably could. I think you'd have a lot of trouble driving a Stewart tank on the road. Probably get the odd ticket.
Now, I'm not sure. I think this might be just a
Repop.
Reebok. It's Consolidated Liberator B24, the D version. This is with the solid glass nose in it.
I like the decal scheme they've chosen. The famous Lady Be Good.
There you go.
That was lost in the Libyan desert, I think.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, and they found it in the 70s, I think.
And next one is they're doing on the back of the success with the Fairy Gannet, they're doing a COD 4 version.
I love the box art.
Yeah, the box art looks really cool.
And I like the paint scheme of all over its glossy sea blue. Looks good on those.
And the black and red spinner looks really cool as well. Lovely.
Finally,
aircraft.
I've seen a Gannet that doesn't make me go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've still got one in my stash. I've got to build the other Airfix one, the earlier Airfix one. So
Go for it.
you know the fan?
No,
Why not?
not a
Yeah,
chance.
it looks like a guinea pig.
Yeah. It's a good way of putting it. It looks
Guinea
like a
pig.
guinea
How do you get a guinea pig out of that? It's got no fur on it.
Nah, have a
Yeah,
look
but-
at it. Like the shape of its fuselage. It's
Yeah, it's
sort
like
of
a guinea pig.
squat and like short nosed and looks like a guinea pig.
Yeah. Imagine the vibrations going up your spine because you're basically sitting on top of the engine.
2 engines.
Well, 2 engines.
Yeah, twin Mambas.
Yeah, you're sitting on top of them. God. Just shake everything inside you.
Possibly. They're well loved by the air crews.
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
I think I've spoken about this before. I think there's one flying, and I want to say it's the US or the UK. It's got such a...
I know there's one local at Moorabbin,
Yeah, that's not flying, though.
and it's bent like a banana.
yeah, it's not a flying one.
Had a very hard landing.
Well, I've seen the one in the Royal Australian Navy Air Fleet Museum up in Nowra, and that's in beautiful condition.
Oh, the one I'm pretty sure the one at Moorabbin's very ordinary condition.
Well, it's kept
But the story that I was told about it is as it was coming in for landing, the ship hit a swell.
Oh, okay. So
And it just went slap on the deck and bent the airframe.
So that's the new stuff from
Airfix?
Airfix. As I said, there's some stuff in there that's
That's piqued my interest anyway.
got my interest. I thought we might just touch on Italeri and have a look through some of their new stuff. And obviously, trucks has been something they've been doing for a while, and that's continuing on.
I
European
mean,
trucks, yep.
Not many other companies service the truck crowd like Italeri does.
No. So they've got an Iveco Stralis S-Way, which is an Iveco thingamabob.
It's called a truck, Dave.
Yeah. In 1/24 scale. So it's fairly large.
It's a cab over.
Yeah, thank you. Fairly large model. Well, all Ivecos are cab overs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also doing the Volvo FH low roof, which is going to come with new parts. So it's a repop. And they've re-released their Scania 142H 6x2 canvas truck and the Iveco 190.38 Cowboy, which also has a cab over, but this is bobtail only. Now, I don't know much about these ones, which is a Mercedes-Benz trucks. Are these new or are they just...
I don't know. But it looks very modern, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
I got to say, these modern trucks look really
Actros
cool.
Grand Prix edition.
Oh, you know why? Because it'd be like the truck that you would have a trailer on it that pulls like a Formula One car, right?
Yeah.
And the mobile workshops and all that stuff that they have with them.
The Renault Magnum, which is the cab that's independent to the chassis, so you don't get the vibration instead of the whole cab.
It looks kind of weird, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And the Volvo, another Scania. Now let's get down to the cars, which I think Julian's probably got a few comments to talk about, no doubt. So 100% new mould is the Lancia Fulvia.
That looks cool.
HF.
Rally.
I think everyone can appreciate that sort of small era sports car, rally type stuff, where when rally was still like rear wheel drive cars, right?
Yeah. Very cool.
Now, this isn't new, but it certainly caught my eye when we were looking at this pre-show. So the Bugatti Royal Coupe Napoleon.
It's a pretty cool looking car.
It's
really,
a very cool looking car.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that sort of Duesenberg era.
Yeah. Saloon car.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty
Where
cool.
you expect like the butler to get out of it and then open the door for whoever
the
that
driver,
owns
yeah,
it.
with his cap.
Well, in fact, the driver is in an open cab.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the passengers sit behind him in a closed cab.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love the solid wheels on it.
I was about to say exactly the
Yeah.
same thing. Those solid chrome wheels
Yeah.
just look freaking awesome.
They do, don't they? They do.
It's a
They
nice
do.
looking car, that.
So that interests me. But the other one that really caught my eye, was, it says,
1/12 scale too.
and this is a rebox but with new parts. So the Bugatti Type 35B, the Targa Florio 29, which is a Monaco GP 1930.
Don't know about the yellow. I prefer them in the light blue.
The yellow looks magnificent. It really pops.
I prefer Bugattis to me have to be blue.
Well, it's the classic.
Yeah.
It's their racing color,
Yeah.
right? Blue. Yeah.
But it's a pretty cool looking machine, and in 1/12 scale, it's a good size because it's a small car to begin with.
yeah, it's a tiny car. It actually comes out to be like, I don't know, the size of like a 35th scale armor.
Yeah.
So, cars come out in 12th, 124,
And 1/25th.
and 125th.
And 143.
What's the stand like? You look at modelling and
for
70-second scale, sort of like the sort of baseline. What's
124 and 125 get thrown in together because they're so close to each
Yeah.
other.
Oh, okay.
And they are the most popular in my opinion.
Yeah.
But then you got the other genre people that do the 143. Now these guys are the guys that do like the super detailing and
They're the equivalent of like one.
they're of shipbuilders.
Yeah, the 1/700 scale ship type guys.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Mind you, some of those kits are worth hundreds of dollars
Yeah, I know.
for 143 scale.
A lot of re-releases in 70-second scale. So you get the Mirage 2000 DN, the Junkers JU88 A17,
Which comes with new decals. Both those come with new decals.
the Junkers JU52, which is back again.
There's lots of them.
There's a lot of new,
Lots of repops.
Yeah.
Repops all over the
Yep.
place.
Yep.
and I'm trying to get down to where the new ones are because there's just a lot of repops. Not seeing
There we go.
anything.
No.
New mold.
Oh, there we go.
There we
New mold. Bingo. Right. So we have a F-35 Lightning in 148 scale in beast mode, which is 100% new molds.
What's Beast Mode?
Beast mode is when it's all fully loaded up for bear, so all the underwing pylons are fully loaded.
All right. Okay.
So she's no longer in stealth mode. She's in hunter mode now.
Okay.
So it's the A model, which a Royal Australian Air Force flies. 100%
It
new
comes
mold.
with decals for US,
And Australia.
Australian, Dutch, and Italian and Norwegian.
Yes.
Isn't one of those Czech?
Yes.
Oh, it is Czech, not
It's
Dutch.
Czech,
Sorry,
yeah.
it didn't. No, it's got a little orange dot in the middle.
Yes. What's that
Dutch.
one? What's that one then?
Orange
yeah.
dot's
The
Dutch.
orange dot is
Yeah.
the
Dutch one.
Okay. Next is the Mackie 202 full gore. Everyone loves this plane.
It's a nice looking aircraft.
Yeah.
Meh. Dave's meh.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always liked the sort of shape of it. It is distinctly Italian, sort of
Yeah.
looking for that era, you know?
Yeah, it's Italian version of Messerschmitt 109.
Yeah. It absolutely is. But I mean,
is, yeah.
it's very Italian.
Look at the engine. It's a 12 cylinder turned upside down.
Yeah.
Like the Messerschmitt.
Yeah, but it
DB601s.
really has that sort of feel like someone ran across to the drawing room where the guys were working on the Ferrari 250 GTO and said, "Hey, can you guys sketch us up a plane?
Yes.
You know? Just something rough. Just give us what you got." And he's like, "Okay," and he just writes it on a handkerchief and is like, "Yeah, take that."
It's Italian. It's a built with passion.
And still staying on the Italian sort of theme, in 100%
32nd.
new mould in 32nd scale, we get the Mackie C200.
Meh. That's where I go, meh. I am not a fan of this aircraft. I think it is ugly.
I don't mind it. It's a
They've
bit weird.
taken a nice inline engine out of it and thrown this horrible looking radial engine that
No, I think this precedes.
belongs on an SM72.
I think this precedes the other one. So it's
Yeah.
it's got the Battle of Britain markings on it, mind
Yeah.
you. I think
Open cockpit.
from what I remember when I was doing my I forgot what the name is, Italian plane that was in Battle of Britain. The blue marking that's on the white stripe there. I think that's Battle of Britain era type stuff.
The thing that gets me about these aircraft, it looks like the engine dropped.
Yeah, it looks like
It does look like an
it had a hard landing.
It's
and the
yeah,
engine got
like the engine frame mounts have given way and it's
It's like they
dropped.
designed the plane and then the engine was an afterthought.
Yeah.
In 72nd scale, there's a Merlin helicopter, which is back again. Let's see if the armour, if there's any new stuff.
Or
Yes,
new
we do. We have
molds.
new. Oh, okay.
Oh,
For
okay.
Italian,
New molds. So
yes, for Italian armour builders, or in 135th scale, there is a
Semavento.
Yes.
Semaventi M43 DA 105/25 Bassotto.
So I believe they've always had the Semavente in their lineup.
Stable.
But it was the different type with the shorter gun on it.
Well, there's two types. So they've got the 105.
And this has got side skirts as well, I believe.
Yeah. And they've got the M42 model, which has got new parts, whereas the M43 is a completely new mold.
Yep.
Cool.
And it's got quite a striking. It's almost like a German type
Camo
scheme.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but it's also kind of reminiscent of some of the World War One era.
Paint schemes, yeah.
Yeah, it's got a bit of that feel to it.
Yeah. They've got a whole range of 156 scale, which I want to say is for the tabletop.
Tabletop, yeah, because I know Italeri does a lot with the tabletop.
Yeah. And we have got a torpedo boat in 135th scale, which comes with new parts, which is the MAS 2A series, if you like your torpedo boats.
With new parts, which who knows what that means. It might mean like some updated guns or something on it. And then they got all these War Thunder boxings.
Yep.
Trying to flog off all their old kits that nobody else wants to the video game crowd.
Yep.
Because they won't know what they're buying.
They won't know what they're buying. Oh, all right. Now let's perhaps let's have a look at some Gecko model stuff. See what's coming through. So we have. This is a interesting looking thing. It is a Vietnam War era, and it's called a mini shop. It's sort of like a
20-foot shipping container.
Yes,
it's not a 40-foot. It's a half-size 20-foot,
and it's set up like a store.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's in 1/35th scale. So if you're building your dioramas, your Vietnam era dioramas, it
very niche this subject.
Yeah, some Gecko models.
Gecko models do very sort of niche sort of stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Connex container. There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't realise we were using Connex containers that early. Well, certainly the military weren't. It's this is back in the mid '60s and stuff, late '60s. So and it's quite detailed. So the inside has got all the shells
stacked with goods, refrigerator,
even the little fan in the seat. So
ceiling lights.
Yep. Yeah, be something interesting for people doing fire-based dioramas.
Yeah, see,
right. Yep.
So I thought that link was going to take me to all the Gecko stuff, the releases for 2025, but I got led astray there.
You got led astray.
Now, the other thing which I've been meaning to say the last two episodes and have been missing is that 4Art, which is a company I've never heard of, in 1/350 scale, they've released HMS Sheffield, which is a Type 42 guided missile destroyer Batch 1. And if you're a big fan of this stuff, Royal Navy, you've definitely got to go and pull the trigger on this one because it's an iconic. The Type 42 was an iconic sort of destroyer for the Royal Navy. Used out in the Falklands.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep, that's cool.
This is when the Royal Navy was big and strong, like today, where it's just a shadow of its former self. And the Russians, the Chinese ships are running around having a great deal of fun in the UK Greenland Gap. And anyway, let me get off my high horse talking about stuff like that. But for the ship modeler out there, this is definitely something. And I've actually had a look at a review of this. And they speak quite highly of it. It looks like it fits quite well and builds quite well. It's that sort of era of modern ship where there's still enough rigging to keep the old school modelers of us quite happy, but with all sort of modern sort of stuff hanging off it as well. So I might even have to pull the trigger on that one.
It seems to have a pretty decent price.
Well,
that's US.
That's US dollars.
Yeah,
$69. So yeah, but I haven't heard of 4Art before, so they've sort of popped out of nowhere. And
No, I haven't heard of them either.
I'm not aware of them at all. So I'm particularly be interested to hear from any of our listeners who are about to purchase, who have purchased this, and can let us know what their thoughts are as well. So, of course, you can send us an email to onthebench64@gmail.com. Love to hear and get emails from you, so don't forget to drop us a line. All right. What have you got for us, Ian?
All right. Well, 3D Wild.
Oh, yes.
I love that company. They are freaking awesome.
They're bringing some really interesting stuff.
Yeah, well, one that's really piqued my interest is the Hunley Civil War submarine. They're bringing that out in 4 scales, 1/72nd,
Yep.
144,
Yep.
1/200 and 1/350. Now, the 1/72nd scale comes with complete interior.
Really?
Yep.
So it's got the crankshaft.
It'd have everything inside.
Wow.
Now, they've also dropped a hint on a monitor they're bringing out in 1/350, which looks very, very much like the Cerberus. If it's a Cerberus, well, they've got my money already. Also, they're bringing out all their 1/350 scale aircraft, 3D printed aircraft sets, US Navy aircraft, and the stuff they're bringing out is just incredibly detailed. Decal sets they're bringing out for all the different groups per carrier, per battle. So, yeah, keep an eye on 3D Wild. I've purchased one of their kits before and was absolutely impressed with it. And I'm definitely be spending more money, throwing more money their way in the future anyway, because there's some really cool stuff coming out. I think recently they released the very limited run of 50 boxings of the USS Wasp.
Well, what's really got me interested is that they've announced that they're going to do the 1/350 scale USS CC-1 Lexington battle cruiser.
Oh, before they decided to chop it into a...
Exactly
into
right.
an aircraft
So
carrier.
you get the opportunity to actually build the USS Lexington as
it
a
was
battle
originally
cruiser,
designed.
as it was originally designed, before they said, I think we need to build some aircraft carriers, and
Yes.
turned her into an aircraft carrier. So we're just looking at some box art, which shows it's based on a 1922 painting depicting the definitive design of the Lexington class, and I got to say, she was a very sexy-looking battle cruiser, complete with the cage masks that we're familiar with from the battleships of the era. That would.
Yeah, back before radar was a thing, and you needed to get up as high as you could to see.
And wouldn't it be great to have this next to a Lexington aircraft carrier?
Yeah.
Just before and after. That'd just be really, really super cool.
Yeah.
Yes, and as you were saying, they do one-stop air wing sets as well. So,
Those are some steep prices.
they are.
Yeah, but then again, you open one and you see what you get in there. You get all the aircraft, all the decals, basically, and they're all and they're beautifully 3D printed.
So, for example, USS Midway, CV-41, and if we look at during the outbreak of the Korean War, you get 83 aircraft, and as Ian said, with decals. So you get some a squadron of Panthers, you get a squadron of Bearcats, a squadron of Corsairs, a second squadron of Corsairs, which is the Marine Corps ones, as well as Sky Raiders, a couple of Avengers, and some helicopters even, the HU-2. So that's not too bad at all, really.
Yeah.
And being
they're
3D
really nice.
printed,
Yeah, 3D printed. They're magnificent.
they are absolutely, I was going to say some words which I can't say, but really, really gorgeous. Really gorgeous. And you can do it with the wings folded, the wings unfolded. Not like the styrene ones that you get with, say, Trumpeter.
Yeah.
And I understand why they do it in clear styrene, because it leaves you the option then to sort of paint the
Canopy.
canopy. But
But then again,
it's
if you,
hard to work
I
with.
know how difficult it is to paint 1/350 scale canopies on zeros. It's not much fun.
On zeros? Oh, those are bird cages.
Exactly.
Oh,
It was
no.
not much fun. Zeros and what do you call it? The dive bombers.
In that scale, I think you could probably get away with just having like a 3D printed frame,
Well, that's what these are.
and then you run like white glue, and it sort of
Well, you get
forms a film.
well, you can
between
buy
them.
that
What's that called? Crystal
clear.
Yeah.
You just pop that in there.
What's that?
It's like a white glue sort of stuff.
It's made for making windows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We also do a air wing for the USS Gerald R. Ford.
Wait, so how much are the ships then?
Oh,
they're not. They're not cheap,
no.
but they are really nice.
And let's face it, there's not too many places you can get some of these aircraft carriers in 1/350 scale.
Yeah.
So it's
And 3D Wild's bringing out all the stuff that pretty much no one else is. So
very interesting, very cool. Go check them out at 3D Wild Model Kits. All right, gents, I think it's time to bring this home.
yeah, been a nice little chat.
I have. I'm very excited about our next episode coming up. We've got a guest on who we're going to be talking to, and I'm not going to drop a name yet, but it's going to be a very, very interesting discussion.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that in a fortnight's time. Ian, you got anything you want to say in closing sort of remarks?
Not really. I'm just going to go out and probably do some shopping and then try and find all my modelling stuff in the garage.
You got the itch to do something, have you?
Oh yeah, I want to go and do some modelling on Monday when it's really hot.
Yeah, with your aircon on.
Yeah, that's right, mate.
Julian.
I'm just going to keep on plugging away on the Mercury. I do have some other sort of car kits that I've sort of got on the slow burn, but I'm on the Mercury for the most part.
Oh, it'll be interesting hearing about the slow burn ones next episode.
Yeah,
Really
that's
cool.
right.
When you get a bit more developed along, and you can.
Yeah, well, this is a long weekend for us, so
Yeah, it is.
I can get some work in.
Yeah, cool. All right, gents.
No worries.
Thanks very much, and we'll be back in a fortnight. And don't forget, send us an email. We want to hear from you.
Yep.
Catch you later. Bye. Thanks for listening to the show. Hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget, there is a whole host of other wonderful podcasts out there for you to listen to. Simply go to www.modelpodcast.com. There's a listing of all the scale modelling podcasts from around the world for your listening pleasure. And we also recommend two fantastic Aussie YouTube channels. First one is Black Hat Scale Models with our good friend Stuart. And the other one is Workbench Hobbies with Clayton Ockerby. Both of these YouTube channels are fantastic shows, and you learn so much, and it is really enjoyable to sit and listen and watch what these guys build. So go check both of them out as well. Thanks very much. We'll be back in a fortnight.